People often wonder what architectural style their home is, but sometimes that question is surprisingly hard to answer. There's a belief that every house fits neatly into a recognizable architectural category, but many homes just don't fit to one style at all, and in this video, we'll explore why. For much of history, houses did follow clear architectural traditions. Builders worked within recognised movements such as the colonial or the Victorian, each with its own shared ideas about proportions, materials and form. Architectural pattern books, regional traditions and cultural expectations reinforced these styles, so homes built during the same period in the same region often shared a very common architectural language. But over time, those boundaries began to loosen for several reasons. The first reason has to do with materials and construction technology. In previous centuries, building materials largely came from what was readily available nearby. Stone homes were common in places like Pennsylvania and New England. Brick dominated the mid-Atlantic cities, with strong clay industries in places like Philadelphia and Baltimore, with timber framing prevailing across the forested Northeast and Midwest. As transportation improved and materials could now be transported long distances, those geographic limits faded. Materials that once defined regional architecture, such as stone, timber and stucco, could now be used anywhere. And as those material constraints disappeared, so too did some of the clear stylistic boundaries that once shaped residential design. The second reason architectural boundaries began to loosen is because ideas began spreading more widely. For much of history, builders were influenced mainly by local traditions or a limited number of architectural pattern books. But as communication improved through magazines, books, and later television and the internet, designers and homeowners were exposed to styles from many different places and time periods. Instead of choosing a single architectural style and following its rules closely, designers and architects increasingly began borrowing from several all at once. A home may combine a very modern standing seam metal roof with tall Italianate windows and craftsman front porch columns. The layout may come from modern architecture while the materials reference something much older, and the result is a home that feels very familiar but is extremely difficult to classify. A third reason is that architecture itself stopped moving in such strong stylistic waves. For much of American history, architecture tended to move through fairly clear periods. So you had the colonial period, which gave way to the Victorian era, which then kind of ushered in the arts and crafts movement. During each period, builders generally worked within the dominant architectural language of the time. But by the late 20th century, those strong stylistic movements simply began to fade. And instead of one dominant style shaping all new construction, you start to see many different influences existing side by side at the same time. Finally, the way people design homes has also changed. As we've discussed in the past, houses were shaped by local traditions, prevailing architectural movements, and even pattern books that guided builders towards a particular style. As prosperity increased, housing became more individualised as homeowners began seeking greater choice and autonomy in how their homes looked. And over the past few decades, homeowners began consulting all sorts of different sources for ideas and inspiration, from magazines and Pinterest to Instagram and YouTube. Selecting individual elements they like and combining them into a home that reflects their own taste rather than following a single architectural style. Together, these shifts have made modern houses far more eclectic, and it's one of the main reasons people sometimes struggle to answer what seems like a simple question: what style is this house? Another reason this question can be really hard to answer is that people often confuse architectural style with housing type. Some of the terms that we use to describe houses, for example, row houses or A-frames, actually refer to the form or layout of the building rather than its architectural style. A row house, for example, simply describes a house that shares walls with neighbours in a continuous row. The architectural style of those houses can vary widely depending on when and where they were built. In many American cities, row houses could be Federal, Victorian, Italianate, Colonial Revival. The form stays the same, but the architectural language can change dramatically. Similarly, an A-frame describes a structural form, a triangular roof that reaches almost to the ground, but the architectural details can vary enormously. Some lean towards modernism with large glass walls and minimalist ornamentation, while others trend more towards the cabin tradition with exposed timber and stone fireplaces. Once you begin separating housing type from architectural style, it becomes easier to see why some homes are really difficult to categorise. The structure or layout of the home may belong to one tradition, while its decorative elements or materials come from another. Architectural styles are still incredibly useful for understanding history and the language of homes. But in the modern world, many houses are no longer built within the strict boundaries that once defined those styles. Instead, they borrow from several traditions all at the same time, which means that when someone asks what style a house is, the most honest and correct answer may simply be, it's a blend of several. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to join me next week for more Homes Explained.